injustice becomes law. Resistance becomes resistance. One day, God will hear my prayer. One day, God will hear my prayer. I say one day, God will hear my prayer. One day, God will hear my prayer. Una take focus so, una no get trouble that you na just pray. God will hear my prayer. Begin to go school, they get this so that you will just pray. God will hear my prayer. Sing with me. One day, God will hear my prayer. One day, God will hear my prayer. I say one day, God will hear my prayer. One day, God will hear my prayer. See how when you find the people that is a push. So painful for seeing one brother kill another brother. Papa, now you want to know this story. Now you want to know this story. My papa, what is happening for this place now? Hey, food. Beginning there for food, so they don't care what I owe that you go. God go hear one prayer. Who don't get in house there? They don't go house there that you just pray. God go hear our prayer, sing with me. God go sing, everybody sing. One day, God go hear our prayer. I say one day, God go hear our prayer. That one day, God go hear our prayer. See how when they don't go out, they must have us somebody. Oh, see how when beginning they go school. I say one day, God will hear my prayer. That one day, God will hear my prayer. Begin then to die you, mommy then to die you, brother, United Nations. It's just the Lord in Bombay. Politician them home, they send the soldier that forget their brother. Who go hear this story? One day, God go hear my prayer. That one day, God go hear my prayer. Sing with me. I say one day, God go hear my prayer. That one day, God go hear my prayer. Merci if Mario El Manada. Champion. L'éternel est mon blessé et mon gloire à Dieu. Maximo, champion. One day, God will hear one prayer. I say one day, God will hear one prayer. That one day, God will hear one prayer. Nous allons tout fondation. Espoir des enfants de lui. Enfants Père, one day, God will hear my prayer. That one day, God will hear my prayer.
The great people of Ambazonia, the most bravest people where the world don't ever see them. One day, God no go only hear on a prayer. God don't answer on a prayer. God don't help una. Give una the power. Give una the might. Give una the bravery, the confidence. Give una everything we una need them for defeat la République du Cameroun. Una don't defeat La République du Cameroon, God don't answer una prayers. You know fit the continue for ask, may God answer your prayer for a prayer will already be answered. May I talk am again. You know fit continue for pray. May God answer a prayer will already be answered. Hey, I should talk am again. Maybe they not hear. You know fit continue for pray. May God answer a prayer will already be answered. Una good afternoon for all una. For the people for North America, una good morning for all una. For our people them for ground zero, una afternoon for all una. And for our people them for other parts of the world, for people them for places we put down a day for like for Hong Kong, for that side for Hong Kong, for Singapore, for Malaysia, that side for Australia. Now night time for them. Now that means already daybreak. For that side now Thursday already. We still there for Wednesday for morning time. Then they still there. They already there for Thursday for night. For Thursday for early sharp morning. For now Thursday they already there for the next day. They plan for go sleep. Why would they just woke up? The wonders of the world. Right? If you imagine say some other people the day, we will just woke up for morning time because now 10 o'clock will place with me a day. And then some other people then already midnight for them, they go sleep. Well, this one is very funny, they're a very beautiful place. So fellow Ambazonians, I salute all una. No matter place where you there for this world, I salute una. Today, one can talk for una for this podcast for today. It will be a very short message. That basically for can tell una, see, from all indications, the situation be very, the stakes will be very high as they talk for Igbo English. Let me say right now, between Ambazonia and La République, anything can happen. Let me say between Ambazonia and La République, anything can change at any time. The stakes for the Ambazonian quest for freedom and the conflict between Ambazonia and Cameroon, the stakes to be very high, extremely high. They be at the highest where all the indicators that they point out. The stakes they be at the highest would ever be. At any time, anything can happen. We could change the delicate balance of the conflict and it could completely change the narrative of the conflict, both domestically and internationally. The stakes they be very high. While it be scientifically proven from all international assessment, say the Ambazonian people don't defeat Cameroon, the Cameroon colonial government don't lose control of the Ambazonian territory, it don't lose control for exploit the Ambazonian natural resources when are the primary aim of the occupation, it don't lose the ability for govern Ambazonia. That means say for make governability, it be possible. Ambazonia don't make ungovernability maybe not possible. Cameroon want make governability be possible. Ambazonia don't make ungovernability may be possible. So for that one, Ambazonia don't kick Cameroon out of Ambazonia. The Ambazonia for Cameroon forget control of the territory. It must institute governance. Parliamentarians, senators, mayors, and all the things them we use them for occupy the people them and then administer occupational governance. Cameroon never get the ability since 2016, since the Ambazonian people them by early 2017 and the middle of 2017, when the leader of our War of Independence, he declared self-defense and he issued the Bible of Freedom to the Ambazonian people, what they call and say guns. Everything on the ground changed. The leader laid out a clear strategy Oh, must stop for you. Leadership. It require a leader therefore be very clear with the people them about what he want help the people them accomplish them, and then what be the roadmap and a strategy where the people must follow them for accomplish them and for achieve what they want them. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, the only Ambazonian leader where he come for ground zero. I be tell you this thing last week, but make I repeat them for emphasis, and then I will go for my discussion for today for now. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, now the only Ambazonian leader where he brave the odds, travel, come for inside ground zero. After the governing council, it will already recruit 7,000 Ambazonians, put them inside forest for start effective training for the takeover plan of Ambazonia. The plan where the governing council be put up for the ADF when they did launch self-defense, they don't recruit 7,000 Ambazonians, put them inside the forest of Manu, because it will be very strategic for put them inside a forest. They take Ambazonian there for all the 13 states. They recruit Ambazonian men and women before Paul bear their eye one shine. Before the one know what Dr. Ayaba and the egg of see they be all about. Before their eye one shine, they be already recruit 7,000 Ambazonian men and women. Put them inside Ambazonian forest for inside Manu. For start the political education, the liberation psychology, for condition and train and educate these people then, where they will become the army of the liberation, the Ambazonia Defense Forces. 7,000. Now you're fine. The first batch, it been at 7,000 recruits. The one make us say before La Republique, their eye one shine. The goal will be that these 7,000 forces, they will be able, after they don't finish their training, for take over all the strategic assets, all the institutions of the colonial states, simultaneously for all the 13 states. Unfortunately for the Ambazonian people then, because of social media, the leader he entry into the territory for the place where I come out. I be Boki boy. Yes. I be Boki boy. I come out for Boki land. The leader enter for inside Boki land for the famous village. Where the village will don't become now very famous. Alright. When I talk say, you sure say come on Boki? Talk Boki man here. Yes. Kinara. So the leader enter inside Bokiland, inside the village, we don't become now the most popular and notorious village for Ambazonia. For the history of Ambazonia, there is no other village where it will become more popular past the village of Dadi. So Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, he take enter for Dadi, as all wanna know him. I not get the time for go inside my system here, play that video for now. But when AC and they do them, they will play the video for now. Dr. Cho Ayaba, he go inside Daddy, he enter for Daddy, for go salute the 7,000 Ambazonian men and women with the governing council of Ambazonia be already recruit them, put them inside forest, for start the training, for prepare them, for start the process of effective liberation of Ambazonia. So Dr. Cho enter Daddy, he know she don't for social media announce self-defense. He know she don't for diaspora. Talk say make people they pick up arms and fight La Republique. He go for inside Daddy before he one go. 6 months, 1 year before that, he'd already create a plan, say na 7,000 Ambazonians will get for recruit them, put them inside bush for 6 months of training. Until they finish training, they get the liberation psychology and education until they understand what be nationalism and what they want to get themselves into. Until they get them, there will be no deployment. Number one, you give them liberation psychology, you give them nationalism, you condition and train them, just like every nation, they condition and train forces before they deploy them. And you must build within them a sense of purpose, a sense of mission, and a code of conduct for guide and protect the purpose, the mission, the objective. Now, leadership is at its finest. This generation is the most luckiest generation. The previous generation, they never ever get a scientific leader, a pragmatist. They never ever get a leader where they think based on purpose, action, and results. They never ever get a leader where get the stomach for face Pobia, for face La Republique. But the only leader is. When I hear fine, are the only leader. This. It could take another 100 years for Ambazonians to get another Dr. Ayaba. And the one and only this. Since Martin Luther King died, there's never been a Martin Luther King. It would take a long time for another person to rise up within the African American consciousness for be able to solve the problems of the people then. Dr. Ayaba Cho, now an incarnation of everything where Ambazonia want them in terms of liberation, psychology, strategy, leadership, and effectiveness. What do all this mean for now? For place where una day. Oh, I finish that story. When I want to hear the story for daddy, or I might finish the story. When he enter for daddy, now for go commission the 7,000 Ambazonians so they be already be inside forest. Unfortunately, because of the era of social media, the popularity of the man, the place where the Ambazonian people be there, too much excitement. You know, if you control social media. People, they take pictures, they take videos. By the time Dr. Ayaba, he won't come out ground zero, come back for diaspora. Within 48 hours, video they already leak. Say the leader be enter ground zero. Say the leader be enter ground zero. La Republic military intelligence, it don't pick up the trails of the leader in movement for enter ground zero from social media. People don't post pictures. They show ADF fighters with Ambazonian flag, Dr. Ayaba inside on the territory. Information leak. So the plan where the leader be get them and where egg of sea be create them for the liberation, because of social media, that plan it not be mature the way we be want them for the war, for the liberation, for start the way we want them. La Republic pick up intelligence about the location where the forces they train there, about the location where Dr. Ayaba say he enter ground zero. And they see the Ambazonian flag. It be been at the biggest humiliation for La Republic to Cameroun. A people where they claim absolute power on the territory. So Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, a grand entry into Daddy, it be been at the biggest shock for La Republic du Cameroun. Because for the first time for Cameroon occupation in history for Ambazonia, they be challenged by somebody where is stand up. Not before go issue some court document. Not before go write a petition. Not before go organize some protest and carry placards. It challenged them as a commander-in-chief of the new generation, of the rising generation, Ambazonia, as the commander-in-chief of the Liberation Army of Ambazonia, called the Ambazonia Defense Forces. The language change. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, his entry into the daddy, it defined the conflict. When I hear fine. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, he walk away, take and enter for ground zero, for commission ADF, for invoke the Ambazonian people their right for self-defense, using international law and using human rights. It changed the conversation about the conflict. It redefined the conflict and it redefined the parties to the conflict. From Dr. Cho Ayaba, he entry into Daddy, he make the Ambazonia Governing Council from that day become the most consequential party to the conflict between Ambazonia and Cameroon. It changed the conversation from the consortium where it will just be a protest group, a group where they use na social protest. It will be an agitative group. When the other movement, like Ayoktabe, it can launch the IG. The IG will be a protest group. It will be an agitative group because they don't get any substance. They just talk. They just threaten Cameroon. So while Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, he entered ground zero and he commissioned 7,000 Ambazonian citizens, volunteer fighters, and brave warriors for pick up arms and start the liberation process. It showed with real leadership, pragmatic leadership. She don't for Norway. She don't make video and then talk say una pick guns. It come for ground zero. Leaders, they must lead by examples. Leaders, they must lead by example. If a leader not fit take risk for which he tell you make you do one, he lead the Ambazonian people by example. He lead by recruiting 7,000 Ambazonians, put them inside bush, and then ask them for training. If you not be effective, if you not get a vision, how you feel recruit 7,000 people then, make they go inside bush, they go start a mission for liberate an entire country. You tell me. If you know, if that vision it not be so strong and compelling, where every person will hear the story, it buy into it. Why people they go give up their lives? They go want die if the vision it not be so strong and compelling. The leadership that for the finest way if you ever think of. So it changed the conversation between Ambazonia and Cameroon. It redefined the conflict. Why Cameroon be try to keep the conflict under the dark? Dr. Cho entry into Daddy, showing ADF fighters welcome me with a flag. For the first time, Ambazonia they sing their flag, they see their flag. For the first time, it gives we an identity. For the first time, Ambazonians they see AK. For the first time, Ambazonia, they hear their anthem. It changed the conflict. It changed the conflict. Dr. Cholo Ayaba, it take a conflict with the consortium and the IG. They don't make it be now a social agitation for the process, what they call them politically as break out, break in. That means say, I make noise. Just like Nijon Frundi, just like Munzo, they be make noise. Their purpose, now say, I make enough noise, but that means say, I be a dog with feet back, but not bite. So the IG, the consortium be a dog with feet back, but not bite. The IG will they create on the first IG under Yoktabe. Now a dog with feet back, but not get any teeth for bite. Okay? For war, if you don't get gun, you don't get teeth for bite. If you call yourself any name, if you call yourself Jesus, okay? If you even call yourself, say you be waiting be that first president of America, where he also fight the American Liberation War and then he win them against England, Abraham Lincoln. If you even call yourself, say be Mr. Lincoln. But if you not fit buy the gun the way Mr. Lincoln buy them and then launch the liberation like Mr. Lincoln be help the American people, then launch the liberation against British occupation, you be a dog where you get if you back, but you not get teeth for bite. What did Dr. Ayaba do? Dr. Ayaba separate the Ambazonian people from the previous generation. The consortium be being a dog if he back, but not if he bite. The IG come a launch a restoration of independence. Wait, I don't make the argument say you know if you restore something will never exist. Okay. But man, not go for that conversation. I'll come for that conversation the next time because I need to understand this conversation because I like the education. All right. So the IG come, it can't make noise for television. A dog will feel back, but not get any teeth for bite time. La Republic say Fuma local. Then the game change. Dr. Ba enter daddy. La Republic see guns. You see flag. You see forces. You see leaders. A leader. You see the population. How the population respond. And he listen to the leader a message. Once La Republic get the intel, say 7,000 Ambazonians, the day inside the forest of Manu, inside the forest of Buki, for place where Asu come out. They did train. And they don't stay there almost 4 months. That means that they can't finish training. La Republic no say it don't back. At the beginning of the conflict that. Over the weekend now, Dr. Cholo Ayaba, because the stakes a bit so high, he can tell the Ambazonian people that say Operation 200 AK it be required, urgent, now, immediate. Ambazonia, the strategy where they lead and learn for the people them. They don't defeat Cameroon. But they also create a gap for inside Ambazonia. The Ambazonian people never take control of that defeat. Ambazonia so na year fine. Una don't the strategy where the leader give una don't defeat Cameroon. The problem with Ambazonia they get them. They don't defeat La Republique, but Ambazonia never claim Ambazonia. Ambazonians, they never take back. They never secure the win. They don't win, but then no one take the win. Now the problem is when I get them. Here's my warning. The stakes will be very high. At any time, the tides, if it change. The direction of the wind, if it change. At any time. because of una reluctance for take una country back after una don't defeat La République du Cameroon. Ambazonia don't put itself at a very delicate position. Ambazonia they at a very delicate position. Things have change at any time. Una answer the call for Operation 200 AK, or if things change and the wind turn, when I don't follow my education, when things change and the wind turn the other direction, when I go regret forever. When I listen for a leader where you get vision, purpose, and he give a roadmap, we don't deliver una everything we want them. Una act fast for provide the guns on the ground and secure the victory, or when the wind change, una go regret forever.